Akosua, radiant in her kente gown, surveyed the lavish wedding hall. Today was the day she'd orchestrated for months, a spectacle unlike any other in Accra. Her fiancé, Kwame, a man of quiet charm and unwavering devotion, stood beside her, blissfully unaware of the unconventional guest list. Akosua, a serial dater with a history as colorful as a Ghanaian market, had sent invitations to every single one of her ex-boyfriends. Her best friend, Amma, had called her mad. "Akosua, what in the name of jollof rice are you thinking?" she'd shrieked. But Akosua merely smiled, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "Oh, Amma," she purred, "I'm thinking of something truly unforgettable." The first few exes started trickling in, their expressions a mix of confusion and curiosity. One, a lanky artist named Kofi, even brought a rather abstract painting as a gift, clearly unsure of the protocol. Akosua greeted each one with a dazzling smile, her heart thumping with anticipation. The show, she knew, was about to begin.
The hall buzzed with hushed whispers and curious glances as more ex-boyfriends arrived. There was Dr. Mensah, the suave surgeon who'd once broken her heart with his relentless pursuit of perfection. Then came Pastor Nye, whose passionate sermons were only matched by his equally passionate, albeit brief, relationship with Akosua. Even a visibly uncomfortable Biggie Kojo, a former high school sweetheart, now a successful businessman, made an appearance, his usual swagger replaced by an awkward shuffle. Each man, a chapter in Akosua's romantic history, now occupied a seat, a living, breathing testament to her past. Kwame, oblivious, beamed at his bride, occasionally waving at a new arrival he assumed was a distant cousin. Ama, however, looked like she'd seen a ghost, darting worried glances between Akosua and the growing congregation of her past flames. "Akosua," she whispered urgently, "this is a disaster waiting to happen. Someone is going to spill something." Akosua simply winked, adjusting her veil. "Exactly, my dear. That's precisely the point." The wedding band struck up a lively highlife tune, a stark contrast to the simmering tension in the room.
To Ama's astonishment and Akasoa's secret delight, the initial awkwardness among the exes began to dissipate. Instead of animosity, a strange camaraderie started to form. Dr. Mensah and Pastor Nee, surprisingly, found common ground discussing the challenges of public life, sharing a laugh over their respective congregations. Biggie Kojo, emboldened by a glass of palm wine, even started reminiscing with Kofi about their school days, much to Akosua amusement. It wasn't the explosive confrontation Ama had predicted, but something far more intriguing. Akosua watched them, a small, knowing smile playing on her lips. This was better than she could have imagined. She had planted the seeds of chaos, but nature, it seemed, was growing something entirely different. Kwame, still in the dark, joined the conversation, genuinely enjoying the company of Akosua's friends from different stages of her life. He even clinked glasses with Pastor Nee, oblivious to the history they shared with his bride. The night was unfolding in a most unexpected fashion.
During the reception, as the fufu and banku were served, Akosua rose, tapping her glass. A hush fell over the room. Kwame looked at her, a proud smile on his face. "My dearest friends and family," Akosua began, her voice clear and resonant, "I want to thank you all for being here, especially some very special guests." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the tables where her exes sat. "You see," she continued, "each of you, in your own way, taught me something valuable about love, about life, and about myself. You shaped me into the woman I am today." A ripple of murmurs went through the room. Ama buried her face in her hands. Kwame's smile faltered slightly. Akosua then raised her glass, her eyes twinkling. "So, to my past, to my mistakes, and to the lessons learned, cheers." The exes, somewhat taken aback, but also flattered, raised their glasses in return, a collective cheers echoing through the hall. The air was thick with a mixture of confusion, respect, and a nascent sense of revelation.
As the cheers subsided, Akosua turned to Kwame, a gentle hand on his arm. And to my wonderful Kwame, she said, her voice filled with genuine affection, who embodies everything I've ever truly wanted. He is the culmination of every lesson learned, every heartbreak overcome. Kwame, visibly relieved, squeezed her hand, a genuine smile returning to his face. But Akweswa wasn't finished. However, she declared, her voice gaining a playful edge, there's a reason why all these distinguished gentlemen are here tonight. The room collectively held its breath. Amma slowly lifted her head, her eyes wide with apprehension. Dr. Mensah straightened his tie, Pastor Nee adjusted his spectacles, and Biggie Kojo nearly dropped his yam. Akweswa then produced a beautifully bound, leather-covered book from beneath the table. This, she announced, holding it aloft, is the Akweswa Diaries, a compendium of Ghanaian love stories and lessons learned. The title alone sent a wave of shock through the room.
Akosua opened the Akosua Diaries to a random page. Chapter 7, she read aloud, her voice dramatic. The Surgeon's Scalpel, a tale of precision and emotional detachment. Dr. Mensah visibly winced, his face flushing. Akosua then flipped a few more pages. Ah, here's another. The Pastor's Paradox, Finding Salvation in the Secular. Pastor Nee's jaw dropped, and a few parishioners and attendants gasped. And for those who remember Biggie Kojo, she continued, her eyes twinkling mischievously, from playground to power suit, a love story that outgrew its trousers. Biggie Kojo let out a small, strangled cough. The room erupted in gasps, titters, and outright laughter. Amma slapped her forehead in disbelief. Kwame, however, looked utterly bewildered, his smile replaced by a frown of utter confusion. This was not the wedding he had envisioned. The guests, initially shocked, were now completely captivated by the unfolding drama.
Now, before anyone gets the wrong idea, Aksoa interjected, raising a hand to quell the rising chatter, these stories are not meant to embarrass or malign anyone. Quite the contrary. She smiled warmly at her exes. Each chapter is a heartfelt, and sometimes humorous, account of the profound impact each of you had on my journey to self-discovery. They are tales of growth, of learning what I truly value in a partner, and ultimately of finding my way to Kwame. She turned to her fiancé, her eyes full of love. Kwame, you are the happily ever after I always dreamed of, a man whose gentle strength and unwavering kindness made all the previous chapters make sense. Kwame, though still processing the public airing of her past, felt a surge of warmth. The exes, surprisingly, seemed to relax, a collective sigh of relief sweeping through their ranks. Akasoa continued, these diaries are a testament to the fact that every experience, good or bad, shapes us, and I am proud of every single step that led me here today. Akosua then held up a signed contract. And the biggest surprise of all, she announced, her voice filled with triumph, is that the Akosua Diaries has just been picked up by a major publishing house. Today, at my wedding, surrounded by the very men who inspired these tales, I am officially launching my career as a published author. The hall erupted in applause, a mix of genuine excitement and stunned admiration. Amma rushed forward, hugging Akosua tightly. Kwame, finally understanding the brilliance of his wife's audacious plan, beamed with pride, realizing he had married a true visionary. The exes, initially shocked, now looked at Akosua with a newfound respect, several of them even lining up to congratulate her. Dr. Mensah, with a wry smile, quipped, I suppose I always knew you had a story in you, Akosua. Pastor Nee simply shook his head in amusement. Akosua had invited all her exes to her wedding, not for drama, but as a spectacular, scandalous, and utterly brilliant book launch, turning her past relationships into her biggest success. Her goal was achieved, not with malice, but with a stroke of genius.